Hey, what's going on? Today I want to talk about the election results. The presidential election went down last night, and boy, was it exciting. Depending what side you're on, if you're on the blue team or the red team, you're feeling very, very different today. Different range of emotions going on for people today. Um, I also think that the red team is not surprised at all that all the swing states went in favor of Trump. Where I do think the blue team is absolutely shocked and like, how can this happen? Well, it happens because you live in a bubble. It happens because where you get your news isn't honest. Just to cover that quickly, but that's not what we're going into. I just want to talk about my experience of the election. So I had to work. So I was actually driving coming back from Kansas into southeast Colorado. So I just really had to listen. I had to listen to different podcasts, websites, stream. You could stream channels and listen that way. And that's what I did. And I have to tell you, I was very nervous. I was nervous that Trump didn't have a shot. And the reason I believed that was because of the 2020 election. A lot of what was going on was reminiscent, was similar. Okay. And I'll remind you about 2020. 2020, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, Mountain Time. My better half cannot stand Trump. She is a liberal who absolutely despises Trump. And that's her right. And that's her prerogative. And I love her just the same. But she went to bed early because Trump was so far ahead in all these places. And I remember she went to bed early because Trump was just won. Looked like he had won. So I stayed up a little bit longer, but then I went to bed because back then we lived up near Denver, right outside of Denver, and I get up at 3:30, 4:30 in the morning to work. So I got up that morning to head to work, and I flipped the news on while I was making my lunch and uh, breakfast, and I would always go in and give her a kiss goodbye and tell her to have a good day. And she rolled over and she looked at me and she said, "Did he win?" She didn't even say good morning, I love you, or drive safe, have a good day, anything like that. She was like, "Did he win?" And I looked at her and I said, "No." So they don't know who won. Something weird happened last night. It seems like they stopped counting, and I don't know what happened, but Trump's actually behind now in Pennsylvania. I think when I went to bed, he was up by 200,000 votes, and at this point now he was behind by like 20,000 votes. Whatever, but that's what I said. But I told her, I said, no, he didn't win. She said, "You're kidding." I said, "No, we don't know. But look, I gotta go. I love you. Have a good day." So last night felt identical. It just felt identical. Trump was bam, bam, bam. They were calling the states, and the main place where I got my news was not Fox, was not CNN or any of those mainstream places. And if that's where you get your news, that's fine. I just like to get my news from non-biased places because even Fox News is biased. They lean right, and that's fine. They're allowed to, and CNN left, and so on and so forth. But I like to get my information from somebody that just tells you the facts. So where I was getting my news, they were calling states super earlier, well, sooner than Fox and CNN was. And I get it. These people couldn't call Georgia at 9 o'clock Mountain Time and North Carolina at 8:30 Mountain Time because people would have just turned the TV off. And obviously, they need viewers. That's their job. That's what they do. They are a television show that counts on people's eyeballs on them. But I was texting with my mother, and "Oh," I said, "Well, it looks like he got Georgia and North Carolina," and she's like, "Fox hasn't called that," and I said, "Well, they will, but it has." So I sent her a link of where I was getting my information, and a screenshot of another site that I was following that historically is just incredibly accurate. And, it showed that Trump at that point was already at 245 or something like that. And indeed, North Carolina and Georgia had already been called. But, she's like, Fox News didn't call it, so it didn't happen. And that's fine. Like I said, that's fine. That's all right. All I wrote back is they will. And here's where I'm getting my information. If I told her, follow along on your phone if you want. But back to what it reminded me of is when I got home, I didn't want to go to bed because I didn't want to wake up in the morning and seeing Trump, who at this point had 5 million more popular votes, up 220,000 in Pennsylvania. On the place where I was getting my information, Wisconsin was leaning red, and Arizona was leaning red, and Nevada was leaning red. And I didn't want to wake up in the morning and just be shocked again with like what happened. So I stayed up a little later than I should, but finally, when Pennsylvania got called for Trump, I said to my mother again, because where I was getting my information, I said, "Well, that should be it." Then, and she's like, "Well, nope, there's still more to come in because Fox News hasn't said." But I knew. I said, "Well, that's it. He's got it." And then I heard a report on X that some states stopped counting, like Minnesota or something like that. And I'm like, oh God, here we go. Because that's what happened. They decided to stop voting, and bucket loads of ballots came out of nowhere, and they counted them, and now we all know how the 2020 election ended. So I started to get nervous and be like, oh God, here we go. And then I saw a follow-up to the tweet that the RNC contacted that location and said it's against the law to stop counting. So if you do, we're going to sue you. And then that was the last I heard about anybody trying to do we're going to suspend counting and continue in the morning. So, it's important to recognize the improvement of the leadership that is over at the RNC. And then that reminds me, I saw this morning the leadership of the DNC, who was already playing the blame game. And they were saying that it's Tim Walz wasn't a strong candidate. It probably should have been Shapiro the whole time, rather than just taking, responsibility. Hey, we had a weak candidate. We ran a pretty poor campaign. I mean, if you were following the Kamala Harris Blue Team's campaign, all it was is I was born in the mid. I was raised in a middle class family, which is absolutely false, by the way. I can do a whole other video on that. But I'm a middle class woman, and Trump is bad. And Trump is bad. Orange man bad. Like that. That was the campaign. And for somebody like myself, who would vote Democrat if they earned my vote, it was very disappointing to see. I said that to my better half when Biden won. She was on the phone with somebody, and she said, good things are on the way. And in my head, I don't make comments. It's not how we roll with each other. But in my head, I'm like, well, can't wait to start checking them boxes of good things that are on the way. And then she said, you will never vote Democrat? And I said, no, I'll vote Democrat. I said, and this is their chance to prove it to me. If things get better under this Biden-Harris administration, if groceries stay affordable and gasoline stays affordable and the border remains, secure and no new wars break out and the people are come first, then absolutely, I'll vote Democrat. But they need to earn my vote. I have a whole other video about being on the red team and the blue team, and that's just not how I roll. And that was the point. No, I will vote Democrat if they earn my vote. So I just knew watching the campaign that it was talking points, and it was uh, fear mongering and things of that nature. It was no substantive, you know, this is our plans for this. They would say they had a plan, but they would never break down what that plan includes, how they were going to do it. It always turned into, well, Trump's running or Trump's bad. And it was just borderline embarrassing in my opinion. But if you don't like Trump and you didn't vote for Trump and you're reeling today and really sad. I'm sorry. It will get better. And hopefully, Trump's policies, like they did from 2016 to the end of his first term, will prove that. And things will get better for you. And not only you, but the American people and the entire world. You know, I'm looking forward to affordable groceries and affordable gas. I'm looking forward to a secure border. And I'm looking forward to the ends of these wars, which under Trump's presidency, we didn't have any of that. We had all of that. We had affordable groceries, affordable gas, no new wars, and a secure border. I'm looking forward to getting those things back. And I know you don't like the guy, and you're right. And it does suck when your candidate loses. I know how it feels. You know, I went through it. But you know, just stay strong and pray for the country and pray for the American people and pray for the world. For those of you that wanted Trump to win, congratulations. You know, um, it feels like a big load off your shoulders and a sigh of relief. Um, and good things are on the way. So I hope. I hope these wars will end. I hope the border will be secure. I don't know if prices will reverse and go cheaper, but hopefully they'll stop increasing, you know, and going up. But time will tell. And, you know, even for you folks, then go ahead and pray for the country and pray for the American people and pray for the world. And let's hope that this decision was the right decision. But the fact that he looks like he's going to hold on to the electoral plus the popular vote is huge. It really speaks volumes. And basically what you can say now to these, you know, these leftist lunatics is like, actually, no, you're in the minority. You understand that. Like most people don't feel the way you feel about, you know, any of the policies that are going on. But whatever. So that's how it went down. And honestly, it wasn't that exciting. It was almost like Trump took an early lead and never lost the lead. You know, but the CNN and Fox News and all that stuff, they did their job to go ahead and keep the viewers' eyes on the screens because again, that's that's what they're there for. But ultimately, it was kind of like a boring um, night. It ended the way I hoped that it would end, but I'm happy that it went the way it did. I'm not saying that like, oh, I wish it went back and forth. I don't know. I don't know if I could have handled that. It was just be too nerve wracking. But to anybody that voted for Trump, you know, congratulations. I think he's supposed to go to court next week, so maybe they're going to put him in jail before he gets sworn in to office in January. But the saga continues. So anyway, you can agree with me, you can disagree with me, you can do some research, you can do no research. You can leave a nice comment, you can leave a nasty comment. I don't care. This is how I feel. This is what I saw. This is what I know. So anyway, that's about it. Let me know what you thought about the election. Was it exciting or did Trump have it from the beginning? Was it boring? Did it end the way you thought it would end? Is it even over? I'll talk to you later. Bye.